YouTube Nation, UMvC3, aka me TV, aka what the hell, Charlie Brown? You gonna sit here and tell me that I gotta watch you all season and you're not gonna try to stop Lucy just once from pulling the football away from you? You trying to make a kick? You better do something about that, man. Seriously. Anyways, I want to say thank you guys for watching the show. Thank you for sending me information. Today's show is brought to you by, man, look, Karate Champ. All right, I'm telling you now, I dare the bull to come at me. I dare him to come at me one-on-one charging me. I'm just saying. Anyways, guys, we have a big show for you today. We have a lot to get into. We're going to start with EA as usual. Any person, I should say, who has not, and I'll put it like this, has not heard what's been going on as of late, let's get into this right now, all right? For those who don't know, EA is backtracking. That's right. After the civil suit that was, claimed, or so I say, brought to EA's attention, about them being sued for 1943, EA is now backtracking. They've caved, they've given in, and they're now going to offer gamers Battlefield 1943. That's right. So gamers, once again, you have stepped up and did what you were supposed to do. And now you're getting Battlefield 1943 for free. Of course, you'll have to have Origins for it, but you are getting it now for free as promised. Now, this is a great thing because, like I said before, this is what the lawsuits are for. This is what the class action lawsuits are for when companies decide they don't have to fulfill their promises. And all the gamers were like, oh, well, it's a frivolous lawsuit. If I want to play 1943, I paid for it, and that was it. I bet you all those people who said, this shouldn't even be a lawsuit, I bet you they're going to be on there jumping to download the free game. I guarantee you. Anyways, let's keep going. For more Battlefield news, DICE apologizes to fans. That's right. This is the first time DICE has apologized for anything in the previous couple of months, especially when Battlefield 3 the beta was going on and everything. First time they're apologizing, and now they're promising to fix the VIOP. They're just now, promising that. Also, in more EA news, German gamers unite against EA Origins. That's right. Now EA is saying, because they're getting tired of this. They're getting tired of being spied on. We talked about this before. I've showed links, in the info bar where they showed that they were being spied on and things of that nature. And EA's still saying they're not being spied on. Look, EA, you got caught. You got caught. There's video proof of it. You got caught. What else do you want? Just man up. Seriously, just admit it. See, this is the problem. You have all these people who say they're in business and that they're men and adults, but yet nobody wants to take responsibility. Nobody. It's a joke. Anyways, let's keep going. Let's keep going. On Modern Warfare 3 news, Activision bans 600 plus Modern Warfare 3 players for cheating. Now look, I've said this before. I felt about this on EA. Like I said, with EA, what they had their exploit, the XP exploit, I felt they shouldn't have banned them. They should have patched the exploit. They really should have, so it can just, so it can stop. Now, if you're really cheating players, if you're cheating, if you get on there and say, I'm just going to cheat everybody out of their experience, you deserve to be banned. If you're cursing people out online, acting unruly, you deserve to be banned, all right? But if it's something on Activision's end that they can fix, that they can patch, so you can stop these exploits, they need to do that. They need to do that. And it goes to show you that there's a flaw in their game. And they need to do that. For what you guys pay, especially if you're paying for Elite and everything, you deserve that. It's not just ban them automatically. And I told you before, when these companies start getting big and they start selling tons of units, they can sacrifice 1,600 players like there's nothing to it. But that shouldn't be the case. They should really fix this. All right? They really should. But let's keep going. Microsoft news. They want new exclusives for current and future Xbox generations. Here we go with this divide again. I understand that every system is going to have an exclusive, but this is just we're just going to throw more money around. That's all this is. That's all this is, to keep the divide going. At this point, the next generation, it's time to really bring this together. It really is. There's no way that you can keep having exclusives for this and exclusives for that. And I understand that, like I said, every company will have a system or company will have their exclusives. But to sit here and say you want exclusives for now and for the futures to come on, man. This is just it's almost like a never-ending fight. It really is. It's ridiculous. And Sony says it's undesirable to let the Xbox 720 get a significant head start on the PS4, just like it did with the PS3. This almost makes me feel either they're going to bring it out very soon and rush it, or, like I said, this isn't about next generation anymore. This is just about keeping ahead of the race, you know what I mean, or just trying to stay in par with each other in competition. That's all this is. That's all it is. It's unreal. But let's talk about some unreal things, which I feel are really funny. Now, people, for those who don't know, the Skyrim patch came out not too long ago, the 1.2 patch that they promised. However, users have sat here and reported so many problems with the patch. That's right. After all, it actually made things worse, the patch. So, while we look at things, let's just look at some of the glitches that Skyrim has to offer, which I feel is really funny, but I can also understand why people are mad. Let's check those out real quick.
My friend Maven and I. Have you met Maven?
It's a fine day with you around.
Of course you don't.
Now see, to me, those glitches are funny. I understand the spider one is kind of freaky, but the backwards flying dragon for me, that gets me every time. That's just hilarious. And I understand why gamers are mad. Like I said, I feel they're funny, so it doesn't really bother me much. But gamers are pretty much upset, and for this large-scale game, it does have a ton of issues, and they need to be fixed. But we'll talk about more of that, because even though that's a large-scale issue, there's companies who have even smaller-scale games. And we're talking about games that are Maddenized every year, and they still can't get their glitches right. If you don't know what I'm talking about, let's look at WWE 12. And speaking of WWE 12, the director responds to the glitches in an article. And also, check this out, the people who modded GTA 4, yeah, they actually put out a patch for Skyrim that improves performance and runs on weaker PCs. They can make it, the gamers, that's right, the gamers made a patch that runs smoother than the developers did. This is what the future is going to offer people. I'm just letting you know the gamers are doing it, and I'll put it like this. Here's some more news about the future. We're going to talk about it in a minute, all right? There's a nice write-up, all right, about the terrifying future of online passes and what it means to you guys. I'm just letting you guys know that now, okay? There's a nice write-up about it. Also, Arkham City is now region restricted on Steam. Don't understand why all of a sudden, but now it's region restricted. Also, Sony is going to make you pay an arm and a leg for Vita memory cards. And for those who have seen these prices, the prices are in the link in the info bar. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. It goes high as well. $129. This is ridiculous for memory cards. And then they try, and all of us said, you know, why don't they just use regular SD? Sony had to make their own little special card because they said, you know, for piracy issues. Like, you know what? I'm getting real tired of hearing about piracy issues. And we're going to talk about this right now. Because Ubisoft, or some says Ubisoft, was it I Am Alive is skipping. All you PC guys pay attention because now you're under attack. All right? It says they're skipping PC because it's simply not worth it. That's what they're saying. They're trying to go by the numbers. They don't sell enough. I'm not trying to hear that shit. All right? You make it for PC because PC gamers are still around. But that's not all. I Am Alive creator pisses off PC fans and then says why it won't come out. I mean, really. He just created an uproar. All right? And now they're trying to say that it's all about piracy. Ghost Recon won't be coming to PC because of piracy. I mean, guys, look. It doesn't even sound like it's even a legit thing anymore, as far as I'm concerned. All right, I think Ubisoft's just mad because every time they try to slap DRM on PC, gamers found a way to get rid of it. All right, if they didn't complain enough, then have them lifted, they hacked the shit out of the game and made sure that the DRM was lifted. They don't want you to have any type of control. That's what it is. PC gamers, for these previous couple of months, I'll say right now, have been very revolutionary. Very revolutionary. They're not playing around. And companies are scared. And now they're saying, well, since we can't have it our way, we'll take our ball and go home. That's what they're doing. That's exactly what they're doing. But speaking of taking their ball and going home, Square Enix, you know, we talked about a lot about this last week, but they say now that direct Final Fantasy sequels mean better Final Fantasy sequels. No, it doesn't. All right, and a lot of you guys still on the fan page, Final Fantasy 13 confirmed. Like, seriously, you have to let it go. Square, there's a reason why Final Fantasy did so well back in the day, because you split stories and everything, you know, and I understand some people are going to say there's connections, you know, here and there, but they did a great thing with, you know, keeping it as a standalone and saying this is the Final Fantasy for this world. Now, if it's a Final Fantasy, it's an ongoing fantasy. It's not final anymore. It's ongoing. All right, like seriously, that's what this is at this point. All right, and we saw this with Final Fantasy X, and a lot of people love Final Fantasy X, but then Final Fantasy X2 came out, and gamers were split on it. You get what I'm saying? So you have to understand. Now we're seeing this again. This is Square. Stop, really, Square. You have to just tone it down a bit. And I don't understand this. And like I said, when bigger companies keep thinking it's okay to make these big graphics, you have indie companies who are just stepping into it and going old school and showing you gamers exactly what you can do and how things can be done with just a little bit of technology, and you can make your own hit game. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, check out this video real quick of Super Time Squad. Now that is old school, and that's showing how it's done. That really is. Super Time Force looks really good. I know I said Squad earlier, just, you know, I'm just going with the motions. Don't worry, it's not a big deal. Anyways, let's move on. I have some gaming news. Kojima wanted to end Metal Gear, all right? But now he's saying he wants to meet the fan demand. Now look, there was a lot of reports that Metal Gear 5 was confirmed, and then afterwards we saw Metal Gear 5 wasn't confirmed. It was just a big hoax, and that's why I haven't, you know, confirmed any. That's why I haven't said anything to you guys on the show. And you guys are putting, you know, in the comments, it's confirmed, and I haven't said anything because I wanted to hear what Kojima had to say first. Because on Twitter I follow Kojima, and he said nothing of the sort. So this is pretty much, you know, the company's running with it. But now Kojima really does want to meet the fan demand. I love Metal Gear as much as anyone else, but really, Kojima, take your time. We do not need another Metal Gear anytime soon. I'm just saying. Now, let's move on, because Kojima also talks about Metal Gear Rising. And he says if something goes against everything Metal Gear is, he'll say something. So pretty much he's putting a stamp of approval on Rising. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I haven't seen much, you know, myself that says, hey, Rising is going to be great. All we ever see is a bunch of slice and dice crap. That's all we see. That's, you know, it's more of an action game than it is actually stealth so far. That's what we saw. So I don't understand exactly what's going on the Konami front with that, but when they start showing more stuff, I'll comment on it as usual. Now, I want to move on because they say in Yakuza 5 that Kazuma Kiryu will shock you. That's right. There's a write-up about it now, about Yakuza 5. I don't know what they're thinking about doing with it, but it seems pretty exciting. And this is going to be something funny. I had announced this on the fan page, was it, during Thanksgiving. Soulja Boy is coming out with his own video game. That's right. It'll come out in 2012. Is it even relevant in 2011? I mean, seriously, it doesn't matter. You know what? Whatever. Let's just keep moving on. The Xbox might have a new dashboard. Was it coming December 6th? So next week, you guys might have a new dashboard set up, all right, for your Xbox fans. Also, NetherRealm Studios is working on 3 surprises for Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat 9 Game of the Year Edition has been listed, as we all thought it would come, and there also will be a patch soon coming. Also, there's a Gundam, Ultraman, and Kamen Rider crossover game for the PSP. Why hasn't this been pushed more? Why hasn't it? Anyways, let's move on. Speaking of more Gundam, SD Gundam Capsule Fighter Online is now free to play. Link is in the info bar for you guys. Also, was it a server failure takes down a massive multiplayer online M2 for good. For good. Game was for about, you know, I won't say it was about robots, but it was very mech-ish. It's pretty much, I guess you could say that. But the thing is, they were doing server maintenance. And something happened. It was human error. They did something, and it wiped out everything. And they just lost all the information in the game. All the information. It's done. It's done. I don't understand even how you do that. All right, that was server maintenance. Somebody needs to be fired. I mean, seriously, some employees are not doing their job. But let's keep going. Here's some disturbing news, but don't panic. All right, The Last Guardian, the creator, leaves Sony. He left Sony. All right. However, he will finish the project as a freelancer. Okay, he wants to move on to other things after this. Sony, I don't know what you did, but you're pissing this guy off. And you know what? We've heard this in Inafune when he said, I want to leave Capcom because I want to, do other projects, or I want to, spread my wings. And this guy's saying the same thing. He wants to spread his wings. What's going on over there at these companies that you keeping these guys locked down in the basement? What's going on? Why are you not letting them be creative? People will not leave your company if you're, I won't say give them everything because then they'll go crazy with power. But you have to give them some type of challenge. If you don't give them a challenge, then they're going to leave. That's what it comes down to. They're looking for the next level. Some of these people actually care. Yes, I hate to say it, companies, but they actually care what type of games they put out. They actually want to try something different. But if you keep asking them to do the same game over and over, as great as The Last Guardian looks, I can understand why the guy's getting tired. He wants to try something different. We'll see what happens. All right, now, speaking of Capcom, Capcom is publishing a Sour Patch Kids game. Yeah, they're publishing a, you know what, Capcom, it's great to see that you're spread, because I would say spread your wings, because we saw this Capcom published not too long ago, the Smurfs, and now you're doing a Sour Patch Kids game. It's great to see these type of games get greenlit by Capcom when Mega Man's still just sitting in the corner somewhere. Yeah, it's amazing, but I want to talk about Mega Man a little bit due to the fact that Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, for those who don't know, all right, this week there has been such a big fight about it. It pretty much crashed and burned in sales. It pretty much did, and I understand that, VG charts, some people feel it's reliable, some people feel it's not reliable, and here's the hypocrisy about it, because when they post good sales about games, people say, those fans of that game say, oh, we rely on VG charts, they're great, but as soon as they show bad sales, they say, oh, it's not reliable, which goes to show you what type of people you're dealing with. But, VG charts, said that they didn't even make, over 30,000. In units sold. Now we're seeing that they made 31,000 in units sold, and it's still that's a bad setup. And look, I'll play this. You have to understand, Capcom, that you brought out Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 during the worst times of the season. All right, with all these AAA games coming out, and the game came out 9 months after you brought the other one. So yes, bringing out another rendition of a game that's pretty much still fresh. Yeah, you hurt yourselves. You really did. You hurt yourselves next to Uncharted and Batman and Skyrim and all these games. You hurt yourselves. You really did. And the holiday season, I really don't see it going any better. I mean, you may get a little bit more units. I wouldn't expect Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 to sell unless next year. This season, yeah, you're pretty much done. You're not going to see a massive spike. And for what I'm hearing, Marvel vs. Capcom 3, the community for that is still big as opposed to Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. So anyways, and also, Metacritic scores. I know Metacritic, once again, you can't really judge them, but what I did was I put the Metacritic scores in here for you because I want to show you the discrepancy between what critics think of the game and what gamers think of the game. There's a huge difference. Huge difference. But it doesn't matter. Anyways, here's something that also a lot of people have been voicing their opinion about. Street Fighter vs. Tekken pre-order gems. Now look, yes, now you can get, now a lot of people already feel that these gems suck, alright? And that they'll be overpowered and they'll give people certain advantages. Well, now if you pre-order the game, they're just going to give you gems. You're pretty much paying gems. I mean, I understand that you're paying for the game as well, but they're pretty much going to give you gems, so you'll have even more an advantage. Now, I've seen a lot of things online where people say, well, you shouldn't take the game that seriously. This game just seems like it's just going to be for fun other than for tournaments. What you fail to realize is that they will put this in a tournament bracket. That's what you're failing to realize, all right? This game will be taken seriously by fighters and tournament fighters, and they will play it. And they will voice their opinion as usual, and it's just the same circle over and over. Personally, if they don't get rid of these gems, I really don't see. A lot of people have said they are sick of hearing about this already. They're sick of this game, and they're just going to wait for Tekken vs. Street Fighter. So, I don't know. It's going to get bad. It really is. Now, need to move on. For those who don't know, I showed you the trailer a couple weeks ago. Voltron is available this week. That's right, it's available this week. Also, Disgaea fans, that's right, pay attention, raised over $1 million to help reconstruction efforts in the earthquake. Apparently there was DLC that was brought out, and they bought the DLC and all proceeds, right? Now, there wasn't just a percentage, no, all proceeds went to the reconstruction effort. That's how you do it, gamers. That's how you do it. I don't have a problem with that's how you do it. All right. It was only like $1.30 for a DLC. It was a character, and it was over 1 million people, over $1 million, used for it. And you're helping society. That's how it's done. Gamers once again help how it's supposed to be done. It's amazing. It's just amazing. But let's keep moving on, guys. Sony is keen on having more Heavy Rain type games. This is the same Sony that didn't even think Heavy Rain was going to sell. All right, but they're keen on more Heavy Rain type games. Also, the Kinect 2 will be coming. That's right, and it can read lips and determine emotional states. This is crazy. At this point, we talked about this with the guy when you put the GLaDOS' voice. Just put it in already. All right, if they're going to start reading your lip, be able to detect reading your lips and emotional states, just put it in. As far as I'm concerned. But you know what? Let's talk more about tech. Let's go back in the past a little bit, because a gamer, for those who don't know, has modded his Etch-a-Sketch with a Nintendo controller.
Hello everybody. Today I'm going to be demoing my project where I used a NES controller to control basically an Etch-a-Sketch. What I mean by that is I've hooked an Arduino microcontroller up to some stepper motors, which are connected to the knobs, the X and Y knobs on the Etch-a-Sketch, and use the directional pad on the NES controller to control the direction of the stylus on this Etch-a-Sketch. Yeah, I'll just show you what I mean. Try to find it here. Oh, okay, there it is. And just by pressing that, I can draw all over this thing. It actually works quite well.
And now let's look at the future of tech with holographic imaging. The reason I bring up holographic technology is because there are plenty of videos on YouTube right now that it's used in the gaming front. That's right. The Kinect has a video right now where they show a guy actually juggling holograms in his hand. There's also, in the past, we've seen with the Eye of Judgment. So understand, people, holographic technology, it may get big. We're not sure yet. I'm gonna hold my judgment on it. But it seems like they're really putting in a lot of hard work to use this. And if they were putting in this much hard work, all that 3D stuff, that's a thing of the past. If you weren't sold on 3D then, you're not going to be sold on it now, all right? But holographic technology seems to be the next step. I can only imagine what they're going to do with it. Now, I need to move on. We need to talk about complaints here because a lot of you guys sent me so many complaints this week about companies and franchises, and I can't get to all of them. However, I do want to talk to you Capcom fans, all right? I got all your mail. I've seen the forums. I've seen how they've been treating you guys. I've seen, who's that? Swenson he just lingers around the forums and tells people to get a backbone and things of that nature. You can't treat your fans like that, all right? They have to understand that those fans are customers. They're customers and, should I say, potential buyers. If you're telling people to get a backbone, you have to understand you're not just talking to kids. All right? You're also talking to adults and parents who may buy these games for their children. You can't do it. His job is to correlate the different, to correlate the relationship between fans and company. You understand that, right? If he can't do that successfully without insulting somebody, he should lose his job. Anyone else should. Anyone else actually does. All right? You don't get smart with your customers just for the hell of it. That's what people have to realize. And I'll put it like this, Capcom fans. If he keeps this up, I'll come to the Capcom community. I'll sign up and I'll come on there and debate him in front of all of you. All right? I'll put it like that. And if he doesn't want to do it that way, I'll put it like this. I'll do a standalone video. And you don't, trust me, Spencer doesn't want that because he's got a lot of skeletons in his closet. He really does. If you, for anyone who knows the way this show goes with research, you don't want to do that, Spencer. Stop acting a fool. Really, if you can't understand, because he's talking, and then yes, this is still the Mega Man issue, all right? Because you keep dangling Mega Man in front of everyone, and you're saying, well, we want to represent him in all these different iterations. No, what don't you understand? Fans don't want half-assed iterations. Give them a full representation. It's all they're asking. If you had the time to make all these skins for Zero and everyone else, for Mega Man, you had the time to make a full representation with the moveset. It's not that hard. It's not that hard, but yet you keep putting them in front of him as if it's, he's just dangling just like a piece of meat. It's horrible, all right? Stop trolling. That's what you're doing. You're Trollcom right now. I'm telling you, Capcom fans, let me know what's going on. I'm going to sit and wait because I'm not going to really get into it today, all right? I'm going to wait and see how they react because it's unprofessional of them to be treating you guys this way. And I put it like this, if they keep treating you this way, don't buy their products. Don't. We already saw Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Don't buy their products. If the message hasn't been sent already, then you're going to have to send some more messages to them. It's really that simple. Now, I need to move on because we have some serious news here. First off, I want to talk with the fighting market. We're going to stick with the fighting market, all right? Someone sent me a message about the current state of fighting games, and it's very interesting. He really sums up. It says, so to get to the point, I have a friend who's really into fighting games and tournaments. So all you tournament players, listen up. All right, it says, but doesn't want to join because of one of the usual elitist BS that goes on, such as everyone using the same characters, spamming, exploits, etc. So I've been thinking about it, and why not host a tournament where there is a point system based on style, knowledge, and utilization of various combos and execution. Very well said. Very well said. I'll keep going. It says, I think this would force the players to know their characters more and make things more interesting to watch. I'm thinking of hosting one here in Phoenix, Arizona to give it a test run. I mean, what balanced fighting game has character tiers? Look, this makes a lot of sense, and I always thought this because it seems like everyone uses the same character. Look, first off, I'll say this, all right? There's only but so many characters you can use, all right? But I do understand that a lot of people do lean towards certain characters. I understand it completely, whether it's because of favoritism or because one's stronger or whatever, but you have a point. The tournament system has to be set up now, and I put it like this, if it's going to get to a higher level, it really does need to be broken down into style, knowledge, utilization. I mean, it really needs so many more factors, not just, I beat such and such and that's it, all right? Because it takes more than that to be, a tournament fighter. Like I said, I was in the tournament fighting scene for a very long time before I stopped. So, I'm telling you now, like I said, late 90s, early 2000s, I stopped, but like I said, I can definitely understand that. And then also house rules apply and things of that nature depending where you go. Understand, fighters, that this guy is actually looking for an evolution of a fighting circuit when it comes to the games. You guys are becoming outdated. You guys are becoming, dare I say, predictable. That's what it comes down to. It's not just looking at frames or cancel animations and things of that nature. No. Understand that he's looking for more. And if you guys can't give him more, then maybe it's time for him to start leading. Maybe it's him. All right? So all you guys at Evo, like I said, I respect all the fighters that do all this type of stuff, but you should really listen to what's going on here. This is a great idea. And like I said, it's up to the gamers. It's up to the gamers to make these type of brackets because the companies, the people who sponsor these type of things, they don't know anything. They rely on you. If you bring this up, it will get done. But you need to stick together in order to get it done. I'm just saying. Now, I need to move on. I need to talk some serious issues here. First off, Konami fans have sent me a lot about Metal Gear Online. Apparently, there is a big problem with their customer service over there. They're having a ton of problems with Metal Gear Online. Now, this is kind of a lengthy read. I'm going to try to run through this real quick. It says, however, hackers and glitchers have really attacked and destroyed this game. Konami support gives no help to neither the North American server or the European server. All right, it says when the glitching was at an all-time high and glitchers went to the Japan server after being permanently banned from playing from North America server altogether, it says Konami responded by locking the Japan server off from everyone besides the players that live in Asian countries, which is the wrong thing to do. That's the wrong thing to do, because then you're hindering everyone else's experience. All right, like I said, if you're going to have games online, you should be able to play against the world. All right, but let's keep going. It says, Konami even goes as far as catering to the Japanese players, giving them special tournaments, gear, and double reward points in game currency to purchase character clothing through playing on special days. When North America players sent their voice of concern about this situation, we were always met with the either automated message, or they don't have the power over these issues. That's what they would say. So understand, this is also causing another divide. That's what this is, all right, between, the East and West gamers. But let's keep going, all right? It says the locking of the Japan server to all non-Japanese players happening in summer 2010. We've requested this server several times and explained we want the game fair for all players within each server so people won't get unfair advantages via lag by playing in the wrong server on purpose. Understand, Konami has a lot of problems here, all right? It says, now we've lost all support via customer service. They don't ban any of the glitchers or hackers anymore on both servers for North America and Europe. There were several players running around for months cheating and exploiting before they were even banned for 1 week. Yeah, all right, this is getting worse, all right? It says, we are finally fed up with the terrible customer service we have been receiving, and players have formed a petition as one last line of defense in hope of changes being made. It says, today I proposed the question, could you give light to our situation to show that there are players that still care about the Metal Gear brand and the Metal Gear Online community? So, guys, understand, I have put the petition in the info bar, but Konami, you have to listen to these guys. These are the guys that are keeping your games going. You can't lock them out. You just can't do that. That's just wrong. All right? I don't need this. I don't. All right? It's wrong. But Konami, you also have to understand that when gamers, when they get together and they play your game, they're excited for your game. If you treat the gamers right, they will keep buying. They will keep playing. They keep you in business. You just can't ignore them or say, oh, we'll just send this message or whatever. No, you have full control of what's going on. You know what's going on. And if you don't have control, then what you need to do is send them to somebody who does have control. That's what it comes down to. Or is the higher-ups, they don't want to be bothered. They're just the king of their domain, and then they don't want to be bothered by gamers. Is that what you're saying? Seriously, Konami, you're hurting yourselves. You really are. I haven't played Metal Gear Online in a very long time, and there was a reason why. There was a reason, all right? Because at one point it was fun, and then all this stuff started happening, and I stopped quick, all right? I stopped a long time ago, and I just moved on, because pretty much Metal Gear was just a single-player element for me, but Metal Gear Online wasn't that bad. It really wasn't, all right? But, guys, I'm telling you now, Konami, please, gamers, please support this. Konami, please get it together, all right? Because you're going to lose the rest of your fan base. And it seems like, and like you said, you're locking people out. You just want to, you're catering to Japanese players, and that's it. You have to understand, especially as we know how Japan is now trying to cater to the West, all right? You want as many people playing as possible in the West. Stop. If you want them to play your games and you want to sell more, you have to treat them fairly. You just have to. It's just part of the game. All right? It's part of business. Just saying. Anyways, guys. Also, yeah, real quick, Xbox fans, I got your complaints about Xbox hacks, and you sent me all this information. I will get to that next week. I promise you I'll get to it next week. Anyways, I'm done for today. I really am, guys. I hope that you're having a good weekend. It's been a pretty rough week for me. I'm kind of tired, but it doesn't matter. The show's done. I'll put it up for you guys when it's done, after all the stuff is over and done with. I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all be safe. I'm out.
Mm-hmm.